Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 135 of Parenting in Real Life. Today, our episode was actually inspired by something that happened last night.
Yes. Alan was putting Lucy to bed, which usually I do, but what was I doing?
Picking up the kids?
Oh, yeah. I was picking up kids from piano, so I was like, you put Lucy to bed, I'll go get the kids. And then
So, I just thought this would be fun. This is only her fourth Christmas coming up here in December. And I don't know why I thought this, but I was like, oh, I think Google has a thing where if you say call Santa, it does something. Didn't know what it did, but I did it, and it does this fun little thing where it calls Santa, and the elves give it to Santa, and he's like, oh, hello. And anyway,
good Santa voice.
yeah, Lucy kind of like runs over to me and snuggles me like she's scared. And he's like, no, it's just Santa. You just talk to him. Because he's writing a song, and so there's a couple places where he asks you a question and you answer, and then it's kind of like ad-libs, right? He makes a song based on your answers. But Lucy just gets like more and more scared and is finally like crouched in the corner of the closet. And I'm like, Lucy, what's the matter? She's like, please turn it off. And so I stopped it. And she started talking about Santa Claus, and she's like, Santa Claus is going to come get me. It's like, what the heck? Who's teaching you this stuff? And she said, Santa Claus is going to get me and make me wrap presents. I was like, what? I was like, no, he has elves to wrap presents. But, I mean, this is why you don't let your kids watch YouTube. I honestly don't know if this is Lucy's crazy imagination.
I have no idea where that came from.
And
for the record,
she has 4 older siblings.
She does not watch YouTube anymore. I told her she couldn't watch it. It was like a day or two of rough days, and then she hasn't really asked for it at all since. So no more YouTube for Lucy.
We cut the cord.
Which has been great. But yeah, I have never heard of that. I've never heard of the other kids say that. There hasn't been a show that we watched where that happened.
Because it was idea. She knew that he was at the North Pole, that he came down chimneys. Like, she knew enough about Santa that I was like, okay, somebody's taught you something about Santa. But she also had this weird, and he kidnaps kids and takes them to the North Pole to wrap presents. So, if you're looking for like a Halloween horror idea, there you go. I was like, we lock the doors, Luce. Nobody can get in. He's like, he comes down chimneys.
I was like, we have alarms on the house. And we talked about how she's like, do we have a chimney? And I was like, yeah, we have a fireplace in the living room. And she's like, but there's a gate and glass. And I'm like, yeah, there is. And so that's a barrier, you know? And if she's like, but he can break the glass. And I'm like, well, then we would hear that. Because she's like, what if you don't hear him? I'm like, we would hear glass. So you're safe. It's fine. We have an alarm. We're good.
The things we do. So that inspired, what other dumb things have we done this month? And it was not crazy hard to come up with a list of 5 things we've done just in this month. We tried to do the whole year, and it's not that we didn't do a lot of dumb things. It's just that we can't remember what happened.
I was like, I can't remember that
3
far,
weeks ago.
But I can remember this last month. So before we get started on sharing you all those parenting fails and mishaps, we wanted to highlight another podcast that we think you would be interested in. There's a podcast called On Boys, and it's co-hosted by boy experts and advocates Jennifer L.W. Fink, who is the founder of Building Boys, and Janet Allison, who is the founder of Boys Alive. So they, in their podcast, explore and explain boy behavior. And their goal is to help parents and teachers, care providers, boy advocates, give them the information and strategies to help grow boys into happy, healthy men. Their podcast, they have supportive conversations that help parents not feel judged, and they throw in a good dose of humor as well, which of course we love here at the Parenting in Real Life podcast. Some of their recent episodes, they talked about building a just world, helping boys learn how to hold calm and resolve conflict, which I feel like is super important, and gender equality, which is interesting because they were talking about how boys and men are actually really struggling right now. There's less men in college, and there's less men trying to get jobs and stuff, and just kind of how to handle that and how to deal with that going forward. So if you are a parent of boys, since they just focus on boys, you have boys in your family at any age, they talk about all ages, and then definitely look up the On Boys podcast, and I'll put that information in the show notes too. They have excellent resources on just navigating raising boys, because it's just different. As we have raised boys and girls, we have both. There just is a difference between how you raise both and kind of how life looks for both of them. So super interesting. Make sure you check that out.
Yeah, bud. And now to dive into our top 5 things that were dumb. This first one is, suppose it's been brewing, festering for a while, is maybe the better word.
Yes, festering is a good word.
I don't know when it hit me, but one night I walked into our boys' room and I was like, oh my gosh, it smells like a high school locker room in here.
So
it is
bad.
Ranky stanky. And I guess it's a little different. It's not so much BO. Our boys aren't BO-y yet, but they have the stinkiest feet. The stinkiest feet.
I think this is because summer, they didn't wear socks, right? They're just wearing sandals and flip-flops and whatever. But over the last few weeks, as school has started, they started wearing tennis shoes. And their socks reek.
Their feet reek. Jack took a shower last night and Alexa's like, you still stink. And she smelled his feet. They still stink.
They did.
So somewhere along the lines, we forgot to teach our kids to wash their feet right.
I guess, I feel like this is a conversation we'd have with Alan's family because I don't wash my feet because I don't have stinky feet. My feet don't really sweat. So.
I'm disgusted right now.
So they don't smell. So I don't really wash my feet. Like the shampoo and stuff as it runs down washes it for me.
No, you scrub.
No, but you need to legit scrub these boys' feet.
So 2 things we're doing, accountability partners. And maybe that you can judge us for this. Our kids only shower or bathe 3 times a week.
We do every other day.
Ish,
because there's 7 days. Because there's not an even amount of days we do.
So
2, 2, 3.
We do 3 times a week. Sometimes life gets busy and we miss a day. And we are saying no more for the boys. They will be showering every single night. And apparently, based on last night, we still need to do some coaching on what showering means. I think they love to just soak in the water, but that is... And maybe part of the thing is they've recently started showering. Yeah. And I think bathing automatically kind of soaks your feet and does some good.
That's true.
But showering doesn't as much. And it's kind of hard to wash your feet because you're standing up. So yes, we're coaching them and upping the showers for our boys. And really, it's one of them, but we feel bad singling out one. So they're both doing it. So hopefully our kids will be less stinky.
So our second parenting mistake that we did over the last 2 months was we just signed up for too many activities. And we've kind of talked about this a little bit, but our weekends have been jam-packed. I mean, I think Alan feels this more than anybody else, but it's not just the activities. We've had so many birthday parties and activities and stuff to go to besides just the sports. But we've also had 3 kids with sports on Saturdays, and it's been a lot.
We've been doing the math. January is a busy time for people because literally 100% of our kids' friends have birthdays in October. 100%. And
so many
it's
birthdays.
Wild. So you can't control that. That's going to happen. But literally every Saturday in October, at the end of the day, I'm like laying on the couch, curled up in a ball crying because it's been such a crazy day. And Alexa's like, wow, that was a busy Saturday. Like it's a weird thing. And then the next Saturday is just as busy. And then she's like, wow, what a busy Saturday. It's like, no, this is our life right now, and I hate it. And it's not even just Saturdays. And I know for Alexis it's just Saturdays, but for me, it's all the days. So just so you can be on my team. We have, at the beginning of the month, we've gotten rid of some of these things as the month has worn on. We had 2 swimmers, 2 soccer players, 1 lacrosse player, 1 dancer, 1 gymnastics, 2 piano players, 1 violinist. Is that all of them?
Yeah, I think that's everything.
Alexis is involved in church crap.
Not crap.
It's crap right now. It's all crap.
Our kids also have church activities during the week, every other week.
So, that feels like too much to me. We've done podcast episodes about how much extracurricular is too much or the right amount or whatever. I think our kids are all doing great and liking it. But this person is not doing great. I just feel like I need downtime. Work is really busy, and that's part of it too. My job's more busy now than it was. But I just need downtime, and I feel like there is no such thing as downtime. We get like a half an hour of downtime on Sunday, and that's it. And I'm dying. So
soccer's ending this week. Lacrosse just ended. One of our girls dropped swim. So we have lost a few activities. So our Saturdays are only going to have basketball. So now we're switching over to basketball, but it's just Jack. So we're going to have 1 basketball game on Saturdays for the next 6 weeks. So
Alexis secretly loves to be just nutso butso busy all the time.
I don't think it's a secret. I don't mind being busy. I don't mind like driving kids to their practices and their activities and stuff like that. I know a lot of people complain about that, but I don't know. It doesn't bug me.
It bugs me. In the past, and maybe this is just me being lazy or whatever. In the past, it's been crazy, but it's always been the kind of crazy that Alexis could do all of it. And this year, it's so crazy that we both have to be driving people places to get them to where they need to go. And so now I'm involved.
A lot of overlap.
And it's not like I didn't mind pitching in. It's like now I have to like leave work early to come help with this, or like it's just stressful.
Yeah. So we learned.
It's fine. We're fine. We're good. It's fine.
I think the hard thing about it, though, is that we do have 5 kids. And if all 5 kids are going to be in a sport and do an instrument, like that's 10 activities, right?
That's too much.
So things are going to overlap. And so I don't know if we need to help kids like
not do stuff,
play sports in different seasons, or not have like swim is all the time. Like maybe not be doing swim.
Maybe
when
we could
other
get
things
some
are
of our
happening.
kids into like esports or something. Can they just play video games all day?
Nintendo Wii. Well, like basketball is a winter sport, right? So their boys are doing basketball, so maybe they.
But they also did soccer,
But they did
and
soccer,
they want
so-
to do soccer again, or maybe football. Like
I don't know.
our kids have plenty of energy and plenty of social and emotional stores. Like this is not a problem for them, but logistically, emotionally, it is a problem for me.
So we need to
I am raising my hand.
figure that out.
The third one is, and we're generally big advocates for this, we bought our Halloween costumes too early.
I usually don't like to buy them so early because of this is what happens. The kids break them.
Or change their mind.
Or change their mind. So we bought one of those blow up ones for Jack, and he's worn it a couple of times, and already the wrist has come loose, and so it's full of air. So now it doesn't work as well because his wrist is loose.
Yep.
And
Cammie,
yeah.
she decided, so we bought it. She never tried it on or didn't think
She
about it
did.
hard enough. Because now when she tries it on, it clearly doesn't fit and it's not acceptable. So now she doesn't want to use it.
And I can't return it because we bought it on Amazon and the
Ages
return
ago.
window is gone.
Yeah.
But this is so frustrating to me because if you don't buy the Halloween costumes early, they're gone. Like, you can't find them. You can't get what you want. The shipping's crazy, or they're not at the stores. So you have to buy them way in advance. But then they break, or kids don't want to be that anymore. And I'm just like, this is such a frustrating system.
Happy freaking Halloween.
So that's where we are. We've messed up some costumes.
And this isn't a mistake I've made, but do you all feel, and this maybe is just attached to how I feel like there's too much in our life. I feel like growing up, I went trick-or-treating on Halloween, and I got a pillowcase full of candy, and that was Halloween. Mm-hmm. Now, we have a work Halloween thing where our kids will get tons of candy. And then we have a church Halloween thing, trunk or treat, where our kids will get more candy. And it's not on Halloween. Neither of these things are on Halloween. And then we have Halloween, where our kids will get tons of candy. And I feel like there's too much. I actually don't like trick-or-treating in the neighborhoods. It makes me nervous. We almost got hit by a car once for real.
It was scary.
So, I don't like it. And now our kids all want to, like, spread out and go with different people. And I'm like, nope, too much kidnapping on Halloween. So, yeah, stressful. So, I like the idea of a trunk-or-treat. But at least in Utah, the trunk-or-treats aren't on Halloween. So, it's just like Halloween round 2. It's like, man, why don't we celebrate Christmas twice? That one I could get behind. I don't need 2 Halloweens.
We do. We have a church Christmas party and Christmas.
Yeah, but it's just like, it feels, different. This feels like doing the exact same thing twice.
Yeah. And so that's more chances for them to wear their costumes, which is good because you spend money on it, but also bad because they're more likely to break. So there we are with that.
Yay. The fourth one. Is this your turn?
My turn, but this was Alan's idea, but I actually agreed.
The door is locked. But I think we're maybe too supportive of our kids. Especially their athletic abilities. You know, you show up, you tell them, man, you are so good, and you play really hard, and blah, blah, blah. We had a couple rough moments these fall seasons where we had to kind of be like, because our kids would be like, man, my team is so stupid. if everybody on my team was better, we would win. I was like, well, you could probably be better. So it's hard because our kids, because we're such good parents, believe that they're the best players on the field, even when they're not.
I will say they are among the top half, but I wouldn't say they're the best player on their team. So I think they kind of recognize that they're doing well, and they have other players that are struggling, and that's frustrating to them because all of our kids have been on losing teams this fall. And that was really hard because they would lose every single game. And they're playing against these teams that are, you can just tell they're more advanced. They've been together longer. They just know what they're doing. And our kids, I guess only one of them been playing this sport for a while, but it was really frustrating for them. And as parents, it's frustrating to see your kid lose all the time.
I'm about ready to hang up rec sports. Like at some age, I think rec sports are just painful because unless you get on a team early and like you start to gel and do better together, which our kids never do. And I don't know what we're doing wrong, but our kids are always on the team that it's like the hodgepodge group of kids that are playing for the first year.
I like, you don't have a coach. I've had multiple times where like, hey, you guys don't have a coach. Would anyone like to volunteer? So I'm like, oh no, that's when you know.
It's just going to be some parent that doesn't, bless their hearts, we don't volunteer.
I don't.
Because we're busy as all get out. But yeah, we have had a rough fall season. And our kids had some hard love moments where we had to explain, you actually dropped the ball a lot too. And yep. So that was, I don't know if we handled that well, but I wasn't going to let them think that they were the savior of their team out there either. So
because they weren't. But we are working on practicing in between seasons, and we'll see what sports stick, but there's definitely some room for improvement.
Yes.
And then our last parenting mistake is on Friday, we had family pictures, which actually was great. But afterwards, like it was, we had to cram it in, you know, because we had stuff before, I had PTA stuff before, and then the kids had piano lessons be moved because we had something else on Monday. So we had to hurry and do family pictures, and then Cammie had lacrosse practice right after. And so we were right by an Arctic Circle. We usually promise the kids ice cream after we do family pictures. And so we got to Arctic Circle, which took forever, and just got shakes for everybody. And we ate the shakes, but then Cammie had to go to practice. And I'm just like, well, I think this is dinner because I don't think we're going to have time to make dinner.
And she thought right. We did not have dinner.
And it was dinner. And that was a big mistake for us.
We are too old and too lactose intolerant for that.
All night we're just like, man, our stomach hurts.
Yeah.
So
the shakes were good.
They were good. I think we probably just needed some food too or something. But I think we're just at that age where ice cream for dinner is not a good idea anymore.
I don't know that that's ever a good idea, but it hurts more now than it used to.
I guess that's true. Sometimes in an emergency, we're just not going to have time, so this is what we're having. But yeah.
Probably should have got some Black Angus burgers or whatever. So we hope you've had a better October than us, and we're still like halfway through the month. We have a lot of room to go. So we'll update you if this list changes before the end of the month, but so far so good.
And hopefully that just helped you know that, we're all just living life and making mistakes all the time. We learn from those mistakes and we'll make more. Don't worry.
That's right. This may become a monthly thing. We make plenty of mistakes.
All right. Well, we will see you next time.
Bye.